Hello lords and ladies, it is I, Sir Gawain Evermere. I wanted to quickly apologise that the next video has been taking so long. It's been sort of stuck in development purgatory.
Oh, the pen dragon.
But in the meantime, I wanted to quickly talk about the new Odyssey film that's coming out soon. As I've recently seen a lot of the behind the scene photo leaks, as well as recent press released photos, and I have to say I am both incredibly excited for this new take on the Odyssey, but also disappointed in some areas, as well as worried in others. Let's start with the positives. I am ecstatic that the Odyssey is getting a proper big budget production. Don't get me wrong, a lot of media has tried to do the Odyssey before, such as the Odyssey miniseries in 1997 and the Italian miniseries in 1968, which both attempted to cover the story, as well as even more recent stories such as The Return in 2024. However, that movie did only cover the last moments of the story in Ithaca. So having a big budget movie attempt to cover the epic is amazing, especially from such a prestigious director as Christopher Nolan. One of my concerns going into this film was how they were going to approach the fantastical elements of the Odyssey. However, through press releases, it has been confirmed that the Cyclops is being made practically, with a 6-meter tall puppet that is being placed in Nestor's cave, which gives me a lot of hope about the other elements of the story, such as the Siren, Scylla, and the gods. As well as they've confirmed they are filming on location, so there are no green screens, which should look amazing. Next, let's talk about the cast. Now, yes, it would be amazing if the cast was all authentic Greek actors, but asking Hollywood to properly cast actors is like asking Arthurian legend media to do the Boy King story properly. It's just not going to happen. But, all things considered, the cast isn't actually that bad, although we don't know who's playing who yet, so don't quote me on that. Matt Damon as Odysseus, I think, seems like a decent choice. He's quite a good actor and has a decent amount of range. Anne Hathaway as Penelope also seems like another amazing choice. I'm also sure that Tom Holland will give a great performance as Telemachus. That just leaves us with the unconfirmed roles, such as Zendaya, who has been theorised by media to be playing Athena due to set photo leaks. And I have to say, I don't see it. Zendaya is a great actress. I just struggle to think she has the commanding presence for someone like Athena, who is regal and commanding in almost every scene she's in, with an imposing height that often towers above others. However, after seeing the set photos, I am very confused. This looks nothing like Athena. She's just wearing a normal Greek robe. This could be anyone. It could even be Circe. Personally, however, I see her being Nausicaa, based on the outfit as well as the photos that are taken while she's with Matt Damon, who has a very overgrown beard, which is similar to how Odysseus is described when he first gets back to Ithaca, where she appears in the story. But onto my major issues, the armour. Now, to state the overstated here, obviously it's historically inaccurate. It's quite off, as this type of armour would have been a later period set of armour, with the Corinthian-style helmets at least being a few hundred years off. But I actually don't mind this look at all, as I fully understand the historical look isn't exactly very cool to most people. It's bulky, it's rather silly looking to most people, so them going for the later period armour that people much prefer, I actually have no issues with. It's similar to how Arthurian legend media often puts Arthur in full or half plate armour, when in reality he would be wearing chainmail. However, this movie has committed a sin a lot of movies, as well as most media, are guilty of. And it's one of my biggest pet peeves. The lack of colour. This is the most irritating thing in any media I've watched. The lack of colour in past settings. When a piece of media wants to make a time period more realistic, they remove most of the colour and make the clothes dirty and gross and gritty, when in reality, the Greek people loved colour. They adored it. Odysseus and his men's armour wouldn't be this desaturated colour. It would be bright. Not to mention, Greek armour is meant to be bronze, which is a bright orangish gold colour. This looks closer to steel or iron. It's dark, it's silver looking, and it doesn't make any sense. As well as the crest on the helmet is this sad, barely red black when it should be this bright, vibrant colour. I originally was going to toss this up as being at war for 10 years, and they've made the armour look rough and destroyed and desaturated because they want to show off how long he's been at war for. But then they show Telemachus, whose armour is the exact same. So it's not just Odysseus and his men's armour. It just annoys me when media attempts to represent the past as this boring, dull, colourless era of time, Yes, some colours were rare and harder to come by, but it actually made the people want them more. And when people represent the past as dirty, mud-covered people, it's just negligent of the people of the past. People are people, no matter what time period they're from. They like being clean, they like wearing nice, colourful clothing, like everyone does. Actually, I'd argue that the past was more colourful than we are today. They loved colour so much, and so it annoys me when media strips it all away from them because they're so passionate about it. They wear these massive crests and tabards and surcoats and everything, the 9 yards. They wear so much colour because they just love it so much, so it just annoys me when media decides to rip it all away from them. Anyway, those are just my thoughts on what's coming out so far. I might do a proper review when it actually fully comes out, but we'll see. As I am still very excited for this movie, it just hit my one pet peeve. The next video should be coming out soon though, and I hope it's going to be good. I've spent way too long for it not to be, so I'm putting everything into that video. Should be great when it comes out. And, sincerely, goodbye lords and ladies.